It was fall of 2016, and I stepped out into the rain in downtown Manhattan on a Saturday morning. I had no place to go and nothing to do because I had just been fired from the Blue Man Group. Anybody, I'm sure, anybody here know the Blue Man Group? Anybody ever see the Blue Man Group? Yeah, it's three guys, blue paint, playing PVC instruments. Yeah, after 12 months of committed, focused, intense practice and one single performance, I was fired. What about persistence? What about all those things my parents taught me? What about failure is not an option? Well, Toastmasters of Slalom. Anybody here ever experienced a little taste of failure? Anybody? Yeah, I'm thinking we all have. You put it all on the line, you tried as hard as you could, but you still didn't get what you want. You took a big home run swing. Nothing. What about persistence, right? What about all those things your parents taught you? What about failure is not an option? Well, that's exactly what I was thinking as I stood there at the corner of Broadway and Houston, rain streaming down, downtown Manhattan, blue flecks of blue paint around my neck still because I hadn't taken a shower really from the night before. I was 44 years old, and 12 months earlier I'd given up my successful career as a broadcast, video and event producer back in Los Angeles for this dream of performance. I was one of two guys selected in an audition of hundreds in LA to be a Blue Man. It was a dream. One of 6 guys selected out of the whole world to train in New York that year. A dream. A dream that meant taking every possible opportunity to get up on stage in Los Angeles to just practice my stage persona to get ready to be a Blue Man. A dream that meant countless hours playing drum patterns on a tiny little rubber drum pad in my hot little LA apartment, getting ready for the PVC instruments. And a dream that meant thousands upon thousands of practice marshmallow throws. If you ever seen the show, you know the Blue Men, they throw marshmallows into each other's mouths from like 50 feet away. Sounds fun? Not fun. Not fun to practice a million times. But the fact is, I tried as hard as I could, and it wasn't enough. What it was they said there was just too much Don in my performance. I was training with guys 20 years younger than me that had just left theater school that could completely transform their bodies into this character. But I just had too much 44 years of weird Don-ness underneath that blue paint, and they could always see me through it, no matter how hard I tried. And I was crushed because I really wanted it, and I gave a year to it. So I wandered around Manhattan that weekend before I had to fly back to Los Angeles to my old apartment. Just kind of bewildered, frankly. And so I picked up the phone and I called my good friend Bill. Bill has seen his share of failures. He always has an awesome perspective on these things. I trust Bill. I called him up. I said, Bill, what about persistence, man? What about all those things my parents taught me? What about failure is not an option? And Bill said, Don, I understand. You're not alone. But there's a bigger picture here. When we grow, we move into unfamiliar spaces. And yes, failure is not an option. It's a requirement. Failure is not an option. It's a requirement. Not what I wanted to hear right at that moment, you guys. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to hear that those Blue Men people are crazy. They probably made a huge error. They were going to call you frantically in 10 minutes and say they made a clerical error and they're going to beg you to come back and not fly back to Los Angeles. But that is not what happened. I flew back to LA, and I was frankly pretty bummed for a while. Picked up some freelance work, continuing to do video production, video writing, event production, event writing. And I started to realize, as time went by in these live events, that I actually had a ton to offer now of this high-level engagement experience and theories and tactics and how to connect with groups. And I started consulting in live event marketing. And I started seeing this Blue Man experience as like a critical stepping stone to get me to where I was. And I started to see it as just a small, tiny blue portion of a vast, multicolored tapestry of learning and life. A tapestry that actually includes all of us here today at Slalom Toastmasters and you folks remotely. What if we gave ourselves permission to fail, then shared our feelings with each other so we could move through them, and then saw those experiences as critical parts of a vast tapestry of learning and life? I want to leave you with a challenge today. Before you drive home, as you turn on your car and turn on the AC as it's cooling down, it's probably going to get a little hotter today. Take 2 minutes, I challenge you to actually set your timer for 2 minutes, 120 seconds, and spend time thinking about where you're putting your time and energy today, the majority of it. And ask yourself, are you merely avoiding failure and staying safe? Or are you courageously pursuing your dreams and taking big home run swings? Because I can tell you from experience, no matter what happens, you're going to be okay and you're going to grow. I found myself again at a corner in the pouring rain in a downtown area 2 months ago. I was at 4th and Market, right outside of Moscone. I just left the RSA show. It's like the biggest information security conference. After consulting, writing, and presenting for my client, I felt amazing. We killed it. We passed all the metrics. And I asked myself, how did I get here? And it was persistence. It was all those things my parents taught me. And it was knowing that failure is not an option, it's a requirement. Madame Toastmaster.